Okay, everybody. This will be the last video for this trip, and it's Thursday afternoon. It's very cold today, but I figured I'd make one and walk. I'm at Hudson County Park, and that's the New York skyline. And tonight they'll be doing the Times Square. Something on the phone. So I didn't know if I'd do a teaching video. I wanted to at least end the video. I'm going to leave in a few hours from now. It's Thursday afternoon. My pay thing goes in, should have gone in by now, but if not, it goes in at midnight. And I forgot I had like $70 in the savings. So altogether I had probably a little over 100 before the pay check goes in, which would not have been, I wouldn't have left, but I thought, if I left this morning, it would have been enough to get me, halfway. I would have stopped anywhere at a rest stop. But I wanted to also stay until 2016. And if it's just, 1 or 2 in the morning, depending on when I get up, then I stayed. I made the 2016 commitment. And I did get sick. Today you could see the skyline nice. I saw about 4 of the guys today, and there's good discussions. I hope that I could probably teach if I decide as I'm walking here. This will be the last one, and I don't want to make any on this trip. I don't want to do any videos on this trip. I'm going to try and cross, so the light's changing. This is the old spot. But on this ride back, Rick was telling me, and Danny, yes, we have a lot of bad weather coming in. I know there's a lot of floods in the Midwest and all. Most of that, I believe, is just floods. I don't think any of that is on the interstate. Most of what you're seeing on the news right now on the floods would be people that it's bad flooding in the rivers, Missouri and all. But I don't believe any of that would be on the highways. But either way, I'm ready to go. I get impatient. And if it wasn't for me wanting to at least be here for 2016, I would have left. Because I already had that in me. And I want this sometimes I think if you were going to make one last video, I have done this before thinking, it would be nice to wrap up all of the teachings you've seen, all the videos. And I do think sometimes that would be nice, but it also keeps me occupied to teach. But Danny asked me a question today. I might go a little longer because this is going to be it for a while. I'm not going to make any. I don't want to make any on the way back. And then when I get back to Texas, I'll try to finish some of the work on a little. Danny asked me, I hoped, not that he asked me, but he brought up about the tribe of Daniel. And I've been teaching a little bit of history on the Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob, his name has changed to Israel. On the videos the last few days, you've seen that. Nice to get New York in the back like that. So, Danny asked me something about the tribes and about a lost tribe. I don't want to do all that. There's a lot of teaching and preaching that goes on in the world. But I'll say this much. I told Danny, I said, in the Bible, one of the other things that sometimes critics, but this ain't a big thing. I said, you have lists of the 12 tribes of Israel, which are the 12 sons of Jacob. And in those lists, I said some of the lists do not have the name Daniel in them. That's the one tribe son that gets booted out of some of the lists. And I told him, I said, in the whole history of teaching, and I said some people, he got a kick out of it because he's supposed to be an atheist. I said some of the lists, Daniel is not in that list of the 12. I said in some Bible teachers think the Antichrist comes from Daniel. That's why he's not in that list. He got a kick out of that. But in those lists, you still have 12 sons or 12 tribes. Well, how if they kick one out? Because Joseph, who's one of the sons, his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, if I remember right, they're counted in some of the lists. Almost like he got a double blessing, Joseph. Now, I could do Joseph right now, because I've done a little Old Testament history, and that would make it a teaching video. I don't know if I'd want to do that on the last, one for a while, at least until when I make the next video. But Joseph's life, there's a statement I was just thinking about. And Joseph had a lot of bad things that happened to him. A lot of unjust things that happened to Joseph, much more than happens in our lives in general. And yet, as things happen to him through unjust things, that was the road for promotion for him to fulfill what his destiny was. And at the end of his life, Joseph, I'll do a little bit in the book of Genesis. In the end of the book of Genesis, we read the story. But Joseph was a favored son of his father, Jacob. And the other sons saw that. They saw that his father favored him. And he got a special coat, a coat of many colors. It was like he gave him a privileged gift. And then Joseph had these dreams. I've not read it in a while, but it's a common story. And in the dreams he says, basically, someday he will be ruler over his brothers and over his father. He will rule over all of them. And he tells the dreams, and there's tremendous jealousy. Like, who do you think you are? And eventually he is sold by his brothers as a slave into Egypt, which was unjust. And over time, Joseph excels. It says he prospered in whatever he put his hand to. And he's doing well. And he's in the house of a man by the name of Potiphar. And extremely, if I'm getting all the names right. And he's doing real well. But the wife wants to sleep with Joseph. And he refuses. And then she frames him that he tried to rape her. This is in the Bible. And then he gets thrown into jail. And in jail he has these dreams. And these dreams are significant about the gospel, really. And then he interprets the dreams. Joseph is the interpreter of dreams. Eventually, he gets out. And he rises to a level in Egypt under Pharaoh where it says he was only in name, Pharaoh was higher than him. But through Joseph's wisdom and his gifts, he becomes very successful. And there's famous stories, but Egypt becomes the only land because of Joseph's counsel and advice that when a famine comes, that all the other surrounding nations have to come to Egypt and have to come to Joseph to get food. And in the history of the story, his father and his brothers wind up coming to him, not knowing it's him, which was the fulfillment of the dreams he had when he was younger, that they would come to him. And Joseph recognizes his brothers and eventually his father, and it's a very interesting story. And finally, Joseph, one day, as he's having these meetings with his family and his brothers and all, he knows what's going on, but they don't. They don't recognize him. And it's a type of Christ, and it's a type of, it says in the book of Romans, when the Lord comes, he'll be revealed to, the Jewish nation will see him as Messiah. A nation will be born in a day. And it's interesting because at one point in these conversations and these dealings with his family, he says, I'm Joseph. I'm your brother. And they're scared. They're scared because the one who was in charge of everything was the one that they betrayed, the one that they sold into slavery, the one that they did wrong to. And Joseph makes a statement. He says, what you meant for evil, God meant for good, that I would be able to save all of you. And the story of Joseph is a type of the gospel like many other stories. I could do more, but it's called The Empire. But I guess it would be good, every story, all of it, Moses, we could show Christ in all of them, that he is the central figure in Scripture. So we're living in the day. Tonight there's a threat right over there. There's supposed to be a threat at Times Square in New York. A radical threat from radical Islam. It is supposed to be a threat because it's New Year's, and one in California. What people mean for evil, God can turn around for good. God can turn around for good. But Joseph saw that. Joseph said, I understand. You really hated me. You really did these things. And he said, but there was a bigger picture. And his brothers, and he would not fulfill that destiny that God had for him unless he was willing to forgive his brothers. Because he saw that it was through their betrayal and what happened to him that he attained to the position to save them. And so on the cross, Christ would say, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know. The Bible says sin, and it blinds our eyes. Satan blinds the minds of people, lest the light of the glorious gospel should shine. So how does that light shine on people that hate each other, that want to kill each other? It shines when they see us taking the posture of Joseph or Jesus on the cross. Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. And so I guess that would be good, appropriate to end here just a few hours before New Year's, and the ball drops right over there. So I hope you like this little trip. I'm just going to get a few more things ready today. And that's it. I don't sleep well, so I might as well go as soon as, I'll lay down for a little while and then head out. So I want to bless everybody. It was a good trip. It's cold right now, but I wanted to at least do one last one by the city here. You got a good view of it, and I want to bless you. And, I'll try to add some verses to this and get ready for the rest of getting ready for this trip, okay? May the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, be gracious unto you, and give you peace. God bless.